Jody Shimonik, Special Agent with the Oregon Department of Justice. It's May 23rd, 2016 at 7:34 p.m. And I am on the phone with Chief Larry O'Day. Chief, you understand we're recording this?
I do.
So just had a couple brief questions for you. We talked to a couple of the guys that were out there, and as you probably know, no one saw exactly what happened. But a couple of the gentlemen said as soon as they heard Bob Dempsey groan and make a sound like he'd been shot, they had saw you in your chair with your rifle across either your lap or across the like the armrests of the chair. Does that refresh your memory at all about where the weapon was?
I remember having it in my hands, and I was done. And I remember, getting up and setting it down and stepping to my lap.
And that's after Bob had made the moaning sound that you indicated?
No, I was faced away from him.
Oh, okay.
Make the sound, and then I turned back toward him.
Okay.
My recollection.
Okay. So you had told us previously that you thought you had put the gun down and then went and got a drink, and is that when you thought that
not when I had earlier, I had got up and gone over to my truck and ate a little bit of food and brought a drink back and set it on my table.
The table of your chair?
Yeah, the one built in.
Right.
Right side of my Coleman chair. And I was remembering getting up, putting the rifle down and picking that up, starting to my lap.
Okay. And then I know you had talked to Mike Lieb, and he had said, that they'd kind of molded over, and the only thing they could think of was that you had an accidental discharge. So would that, in your mind, I know I'm asking you to try to remember exactly what happened, and you said you couldn't really exactly recollect how it happened. Could it have been when you were getting up?
I know it was when I was, having my rifle and doing. The process that I was doing was getting up, putting my rifle down to start from the left. And Mike told me two things that made me convinced that it had to be me. It was certain. And no doubt that there was a shot that fired between us, and that he was also that either he or Jim, I think he might have said Jim, had checked Bob's gun at some point, and Bob's gun had a full magazine and an empty chamber.
Right.
His gun, that there's no way that the chamber would be empty. So, and then Bob being just clear that it wasn't him. Those three pieces for me just made it really clear it had to be me. The only other two potentials that prior to that I was thinking it could have been was where Jeff was kind of left and the touch in front of me. But I understand he said he had stepped away from there and was somewhere else. I was pretty sure. I thought he was still there. And then looking at the possibility that Brian had gone forward of the line before, and I had told him, Brian, get back, that's a problem piece. But after talking to Mike, it just hit me like a ton of bricks that it had to be me.
Well, and we know it wasn't intentional, and any modifications on your weapon?
No, it's
manufactured trigger pull.
Yeah, it is totally stock. I've had it for a while. It's always been a great gun. Like I said, the only problems I had were on this trip, and realized that with the ammunition that I was using, sometimes I would lever it and the round would stay in the chamber, whether it was an empty round or a full round, and not eject out. I had asked, or Jeff had offered, he had a cleaning kit, and I cleaned it up good there, and then it still did it. And then I realized with the mixed rounds of ammo that I had, that unless it was one of the shinier ones, there was enough oxidation on it that just wouldn't let that extractor pull the round out of the chamber.
Okay. And, oh, darn it, I just lost what I was going to say. Oh, so did you have like a magazine or clip that held extra rounds for it?
No, it's got, under the barrel, it has a tubular magazine. And so the way that one works, you load rounds in at the right by the barrel. There's a little port under the barrel by
Okay.
the front, and you load them up there.
Similar to like a shotgun, you can load several.
Yeah, like that, but except for loading it from the bottom and the back, it actually loads from the front.
From the front, okay.
Yeah, it's like where you loaded it right up by the muzzle.
Okay, and you said it
In backwards.
15 rounds?
Yeah, I think 15 or 17 rounds.
Okay. Okay. And just to let you know, we talked to Captain Rodriguez today, and he had spoken to us a little bit about the IPR. And I have asked them not to contact you until I give them a call and let them know, because I didn't want them asking you a bunch of questions and we weren't done with this. So I told them I would give them a call at the end of the week to let them know where we were at. So just a heads up that that's coming around. I also had to tell them we can't release any of the reports until the criminal investigation is conducted and completed and a decision's made. So that's kind of where we're at, and I think we're getting really, really close to having the investigative part done, and then we'll just sit down with the attorneys and go over it with them and make sure they don't have any additional questions.
Yeah, my hope was that at some point that IPR could do the interview sooner rather than later, because I'm stuck at the point now having all the media filling in the blanks without
Right.
being able to.
Right, exactly. Well, I really hope that tomorrow I can sit down with my supervisor and our like chief counsel and the prosecutors and give them a briefing. And of course, my reports aren't going to be done tomorrow, but they'll have kind of a good idea of what happened and make that decision. So I'm really hoping we can be like, a decision be done at the end of the week. But of course, the Attorney General is going to want to review it too. So,
Right. I understand that.
but I'm trying to push it and rush it. We drove all up back and forth to Sandy again today, and so I think we're getting pretty close to being done.
Okay.
Any other questions for me or anything? Any concerns?
No, I appreciate that. If you just keep me in the loop on how things are progressing.
I will. And anytime you have any questions or any concerns that you're not hearing from me, just give me a call.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
You bet.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye. And we're ending the recording at 7:42.